Jesus. Recording this has been a nightmare. Blue screen, and then my headset, the audio cord broke apart or something like that. I don't know, it had a short in it. Thankfully, this one has replaceable audio cords, so I could just pluck that out and put a new one in. It's been an adventure, guys. It's a trying process to record these things. Oh, man. Anyways, hey nerds, hope you're all doing really well, and now it's time to talk about what I wanted to talk about, and hopefully get this out here without having to worry about any more technical problems. So, let's start with the obvious thing, and that is bridals. Bridal blessings and all that nonsense. People kept asking me, Sages, is this worth summoning for? Or is it just more like the novelty stuff that we got with the Easter event? And I'll be, I don't want to be kind to the Easter thing, because outside of maybe Lucina, there wasn't really much, and even then, Lucina is not the best unit. Easter was kind of a bust, is what I'm trying to say. It was full of novelty units that had some interesting skills that were, good for leveling and stuff, but outside of that, there wasn't much, and here we are once again with another one that has special units that will disappear once the event is over with. So, people were asking, hey, should I bother, spending money and try to go for brides and see what happens? Well, I guess we'll have to talk about that a little bit more in depth for a certain unit because, well, I can safely say yes, you should, but, we'll save the other units for now. We're going to be focusing on one, and that's the only one that I actually got when I summoned, but I'm pretty happy with it because apparently these units are pretty interesting stat-wise, so I'm just gonna hop over to my units real quick and show you some stuff. And again, if you want your waifus, that's fine. If you want multiple waifus, that's good too, I guess. I don't know why you want two, but good luck, buddies. So here are my two Cordelias. They both have, ironically, they both have HP Bane, and they both have some sort of boon. One has speed, one has resistance. Yeah, I'm obviously going to go with the one that has speed. It's not the best, but I'll take it, and I'm just going to pull her up here, look at her art real quick, and we're going to talk about her, shall we? Yeah, I like that art. She winks, I didn't even realize that. That's kind of, yeah, she plays hard to get, doesn't she? Anyways, so, what's so good about Cordelia? Well, I'm going to pull up the stat pages for two archers, herself and Takumi. And I'm going to show you their stats side by side. So Cordelia's, of course, is on the left, Takumi's is on the right. And you're going to notice that, yeah, they are particularly close. And if not, Cordelia is, well, better in most stats except for health. And, Cordelia's a bit more frail, of course, as one bride would be, I guess. And, well, that raises a very interesting question, is Cordelia here might be possibly the best archer unit in the game right now at this very second. Yeah, that's right. This bride here, this lady wearing a dress, has a bow that shoots hearts. Granted, you're going to want to replace that bow, probably. Has potentially a lot of ability to cause a lot of harm to other characters. Her attack and her speed are exactly the same stat-wise, and if you get either or, you could potentially make it even more powerful. Here, I'm gonna just go through some suggestions if you really want to build her up to be something crazy. Just as a unit, she's going to be pretty hard-hitting, okay? So, yeah, those stats are just unbelievable. I just couldn't... When I actually saw those, I was like, what? I didn't expect this from a, novelty, quote-unquote, summon, but hey, here we are. Here's your new, god, guys. It's Cordelia in a very fancy dress. Alright. So, here's some things that I'm going to suggest if you decide to bring it along. Usually, when it comes to IVs, you're going to want to have HP Bane and a boon of attack. Granted, speed is not bad either. I guess you can go with speed if you really want to. But attack really matters because it can really boost her over the edge on a lot of characters, okay? Alright, so when it comes down to building her as an actual, really big damage dealer, I would probably go with something a little bit more, you know, I wouldn't say speedy, but it would allow her to do more damage when she initiates. And since she has enough speed, it's not a bad idea to, of course, give her Brave Bow. And hopefully I still have my Kleins here. I do. Here is a Klein. He has Brave Bow. Isn't it crazy? Brave Bow will help her out exponentially, especially if you do some of the other things that I'm planning on doing here. Potentially, at least from what I remember when it comes to stat values, it could allow her, since she has a lot of speed. Granted, remember, Brave Bow does reduce speed by 5. We're going to offset that a little bit later. It does mean that she's going to be a bit slower, but you can offset that, you know, and if you do, she could potentially, at least from my understanding, actually do quadras, you know, at 4 hits. And that is exciting and terrifying at the same, you know, same sort of idea. I mean, Setsuna has that same appeal there, and she can do that if you build her correctly. And of course, now we have Cordelia, who can do it even better, and I believe has more attack as well. So, okay, well, so to offset the Brave Bow that you might put her on, I strongly suggest giving potentially Life and Death. Because if you give her Life and Death, especially if you have, you know, attack, that's going to go over 40. If you have, you know, an attack boon, or if you have a speed boon, that's going to go over 40 as well. And actually, they're all going to hit 40, but if you have the boon in either of those, it's going to go over 40. And then, of course, if you have the Brave Bow, that will negate the Brave Bow, you know, expense of having less speed. And then again, booning, you know, Banes and Boons, and of course, any sort of boost that you would get from Hones or something like that are always welcome as well. That will push your Cordelia into even more powerful attacks. It's going to be crazy. This is the craziest thing I've ever seen when it comes to an actual unit. Again, it amazes me. For B, you could always go with the tried and true, you know, Desperation, which comes from Shauna, or Vantage that comes from lon'qu. This, of course, requires you to actually have a bit more, a bit more health. She kind of is quite frail, so I don't know how well that'll work. You could always go with something that might help her out on, you know, other units, dagger breakers, sword breakers, you know, not sword breakers, but units that might come and attack her a little bit more, who might have more ranged, you know, spell tome users, things like that. But honestly, she's going to be pretty hard she's going to be pretty hard, just hard hitting. Oh god, I can't think right now. It's just, I'm sorry, I can't believe that this, of all things, is the potential best archer in the game right now. This right here. No, I don't want to unfavorite this right here. Look at this. What is this? Are you serious? This is what we're using? Oh my god. What is this game anymore? What is it? But yes, she has very good stats, very good options available to her. Cupid Arrow, I don't really care too much about, but if you replace it with a, you know, Brave Weapon, she's going to do a lot of damage. She's going to do it quickly, and she will definitely be probably in one of the top positions when it comes to archers. That's terrifying to me. If you want a special skill, I would say probably, especially if you have a attack boon, you can of course put something like Draconic Aura, I guess, you know, something that will, or Moonbow. Jeez, that's probably the only two options you can really go with. And from there, well, your C skill is whatever you want it to be, a Threaten, you know, a Spur or a Hone. For C skill, for S, you know, S slot, I can't even think about it right now, the S skill slot, I would suggest HP+. This would allow her to at least stay alive a little bit better, considering her frailty that comes along with, at least, you know, mine, of course, have a Bane, so you may want to boost her HP a little bit more. Just the options there. And yeah, that's just one unit in you know, this option here. Granted, I don't know if any of the other ones are exactly the best when it comes down to it. I've heard good things about Charlotte, and I've heard good things about Lynn. I'm not so sure about Shada, or Shida. People keep getting mad at me for calling her that, but I'm pretty sure that's actually how it's supposed to be pronounced. I could be wrong, but still, Yeah, I would say go for Cordelia if you really, really want a good archer unit right now. It's a good option. Good option. So there you guys go. I'm gonna go now. It's incredibly hot, and I'm tired, so see you soon.